That's what I'm going to talk about this morning, the magnificent, multi-talented Jeff.
That was the best $5 I ever spent. Isn't that great? Well, I'll be true to form, and that is a little bit planned and a little bit unplanned. And as it would go, what I planned went unplanned. So, I usually like to have a word, a jumble. So here's the word for today. And how would you pronounce that? Well, I guess like defkush. Kind of like couscous, I don't know exactly what that means right now, but we'll find out what it means shortly. So we're looking at this end of the month, and the journey we've been on this month is vision and cause and effect. So I always like to kind of take a look at the physical side of that and what's involved with physical vision. And so I have a joke. There's a snake, and he goes to the doctor, and the doctor says, "Hey, how's it going?" He goes, "Well, it's going pretty good. I can't see hardly anything. It's like I've lost my vision. I can't see." And he says, "Well, is that it?" And he goes, "Well, no, there's a good thing too." He says, I have a new mate." And the doctor goes, "Well, that's wonderful." He says, "But can you help me with this vision problem?" So the doctor says, "Oh, sure." So he makes up some glasses and gives them to the snake, and he says, "Now you go and come back in a couple weeks and let me know how things are." So the snake slithers off, and he comes back a couple weeks, and the doctor says, "Well, how's it going?" He says, "Oh man," he says, "I'm getting really depressed." And the doctor says, "Well, why are you depressed? Didn't the glasses help? Couldn't you see?" He says, "Oh no." He says, "I can see everything just great." He says, "But to my dismay, my newest mate turned out to be a garden hose." So we all know how important vision is, or physical vision. And it's not only what we see, but what we don't see that's important. So, eyeglasses, I wear glasses, and I have to wear them to see anything at all, or I'm totally, everything's just fuzzy, you know. If you want to see things fuzzy, just take my glasses off. But for vision, we have other things. We have the Hubble telescope, which is out in space, and it helps us to explore deep space. Now, our eyes can only see the little points of light, but this thing brings back some amazing images from outer space for us. On the other side of the coin, we now have these microscopes, and if you've seen the movie What to Believe, the microscope is so powerful that they use that it can see changes in water. When they play the nice classical music and when they treat the water nice, it's clear. And if they play some not so very nice music and talk bad to the water changes. And we can see that because of these powerful, powerful microscopes. So, vision is important, and sometimes we have things that make our vision better. So, I have this book at home, it's called The Philosophical Baby. And one of the things that I picked up from this book is that as young children, when we're first born, the first way that we're introduced to the world, and the first way we see how things work, is through vision. Now, we can't talk, we can hear, but we see how things go. So we're watching how things happen in the house. That's the first way we learn. Now, ancient people, they valued light. They knew that light was so important that they treated it like a god. I mean, they worshipped it, because what was light? Light was life. It kept you warm. It grew your food. It did everything for you. It was just, so they worshipped it. It was a great thing. Now, musicians and poets, they also know about vision and light. And so there are great songs like "I Can See Clearly Now, the Rain Is Gone." What a great line. "I can see for miles and miles," or Do you see what I see? So musicians, poets, they're dialed into it too. Now, let's kind of shift a little bit and let's talk about the spiritual side of it. Vision, cause and effect. Now, it was great that Joanne brought up some different religions because I'm going to kind of touch on a couple different religions. And when we think of karma and what happens, how you live your life and what happens will come back to you, that's credited to the Hindu religion, the idea of karma. And that was such a good idea that it caught on and it went through a lot of other things. If you read the Bible, it'll say you'll reap what you sow. And we even use it today, cause and effect. If this, then that. So, Hindus had it figured out. Now the Buddhists, they have 4 noble truths. And the second noble truth is that the cause of all suffering is desire and attachment. So the more we desire something, the more we're attached to it, that's the cause of our suffering. So, kind of interesting. Now, here's a new one on me. This is from Islam. And I just really like this one because it says, whatever good happens to you is from God. But all the evil that comes upon you is brought upon you by yourself. And that's out of the Quran. So, that's real interesting. Now, a little bit closer to home, science of mind, cause is that which on occasion produces an effect. So, that's just what happened, Here's the car, boom, okay, cause effect. But I don't think they're talking specifically about that. They're talking about the energy behind everything and how things come into manifestation. So, we're really lucky because we live in a time when there's a lot of things happening. There's these smartphones, and we can get instantly connected with just about anybody if they're on their smartphone, if they happen to have it turned off or if they're unavailable. It's pretty unusual. But we have this thing going on now where instant gratification is a big thing. And we're getting used to that. It's like, if you try to get a hold of someone and you can't, it's like, well, where were you? I called and I left a voicemail and you didn't get back to me, and then I sent you a text message and then you didn't get back to me on that, and so I tried, and so we just have to let that kind of stuff go. We get so